Hello, you all. Hello, you all. I haven't filmed a video in a few weeks. The last time I recorded a Midnight Musings episode was back in June, but I posted a video on July 1st, I think. And a lot has changed. I am going through a 5-year if you're into numerology, so 5 is a very fun, adventurous energy, but it's also chaotic and brings in abrupt change. So I've been going through a lot of changes in my life, which have been really good. But in the beginning, it was really chaotic and like crazy. But when you're at the end of it, it's like, wow, that was for my highest good. And I am feeling good. I'm feeling great. So through all that chaos though, I did manage to start something that I've been wanting to work on for months, and it's finally here. It's right in front of me, actually. And that is a DIY Louise Carmen-inspired notebook. I have been watching so many DIY videos on how to make a Louise Carmen notebook. Every time a video would pop up, I'd be like, you know, this looks really easy, so I might as well make one myself. And because I'm a generator in human design, I love to build things. And so I just knew this would be a really fun project for me. If you have watched my older video, it was from a Midnight Musings episode, I think late last year, when I was talking about my obsession with leather notebooks. And Louise Carmen was the first one I talked about because that's what really sparked my interest in leather journals. For over a year, I have been watching Louise Carmen and Paper Republic notebook videos on TikTok, and it doesn't get old. It doesn't get old. I am always sad when I see those videos pop up on my For You page. I mean, yeah, I could totally buy a Louise Carmen notebook, but like I said, I love to build things and I wanted to create one for myself because I think it's really special to make something with your own two hands because it's not going to be like everyone else's. It's unique to you. So I have some notes down just so I cover everything that I want to talk about in this video. Before we get into the whole process, I do want to talk about the whole research phase because your girl was researching for months. I would jot down, resources from what I've seen on TikTok and YouTube from other creators. And yeah, I just wrote down like resources, the tools, leather supplies, websites to buy them. And so yeah, I made a list, mainly a mental list. I bookmarked videos on TikTok. I did jot down some in my notebooks as well, but for the most part, it was just more of a mental thing and also bookmarking videos on TikTok. I would see many different variations of the DIY Louise Carmen-inspired notebooks. And not everyone wants an exact replica of a Louise Carmen notebook. So many, oh my gosh, so many creative people out there who have been, I think one girl tattooed her design on her leather, which is like insanely talented. I don't know if I can find the video, but her notebook was so cute. Some people cut out different shapes, like even on this part, like they probably made it like more triangle shaped, maybe like a scallop shape for this flap right here. There's just one girl I saw recently where she cut out squares of different leather colors. It's mainly earth tones, and then she stitched them all together to create her own leather panel. And I'm like, y'all are so creative. Eventually I would love to make a new one where I can sew in pockets myself, but that's for another time, y'all. But I just wanted a really simple one to hold my A5 notebooks because I'm more into the A5. You guys know I have my Grand Voyager, it's a pocket size. I have that one for like my on-the-go stuff, but Mainly, like all of my journaling notebooks are all A5. And so for months, I've been wanting to have an A5 leather notebook to hold all of my daily notebooks together. And now I do. And basically from the lists I've made in my mind and on my notes and on TikTok videos I've seen, I would write down the ones that I felt resonated with me and the kind of style that I wanted to go with for my notebook, which is very simple and sleek. I'm still very much into the minimalistic style. And one of the reasons why it took me so long is because I've been trying to find different places to buy the grommets and all that, but the only place that many people were buying it from that was easily accessible was Amazon. And so I try my best to like go to Michael's to find those things, like the grommets, the leather puncher, but I couldn't find it. Another part that was taking me the longest, and I really wanted to take my time on that, was to find a really good place to buy good quality leather. And I had a pretty decent list of places, and I didn't want to buy my leather from Amazon. Like, yeah, that was easy, but I really wanted like high quality, but that was within my price range. And so I did find one, and I'll talk more about the leather company that I bought it from. Now, let's get into the whole process. So finally, when I ordered everything and everything came in the mail, I first decided to print out a template from a TikTok creator. Her name is Michaela B, but her handle is the Old Pink House. So I'll write it down here for you if you're interested. But that's the first person, I think, one of the first people that I've seen make a DIY Louise Carmen-inspired notebook. And she was probably the first one I saw that had a free template. And so I saved it immediately, and I finally decided to print it out once I got all of my materials ready. And so, do I have it here? Oh wait, I have my the template that I made, but I don't know where I put hers. Did I save it? Oh, okay, I have it right here. So let me show you hers first, and then I'll show you mine. So this is the template that I got from her. It came in like 2 sheets, and you have to glue the 2 parts together. And so it shows right here where you can do the hole punches for the cords, and then the cord over here to close the notebook together. And then on the dotted lines is where you would fold. So that's what I originally started off with. But then when I gathered all my notebooks that I wanted to put in my leather notebook, I realized her template was smaller than I had wanted. So this size is actually 15 by 8.5 inches. And I mean, if you only have like the really thin, like, you know, the Moleskine Cahiers notebooks, like if you have those, I'm sure this one will fit perfectly. But because I have the Leuchtturm 1917 notebooks that are quite thick, I needed something bigger. And so I did use this template as like a quick guide, especially for the hole punches. I did trace the hole punches on mine, but I made mine longer. So since hers was 15 by 8.5, I made mine and adjusted it to 17 inches by 8.5. So as I'm talking, I'll show you all the clips from my process video. I didn't talk in that video because I just wasn't in the mood to talk. So as I'm talking here, I'll insert the clips as I go. But yeah, so I have this big roll of white paper, and so I cut out a piece. I measured the original one by Michaela, and then I just made it longer with my ruler. I added a few inches, and then I traced the curve of the leather from her template. But yeah, so basically I measured it to 17 based on like my stack of notebooks, and I just kind of, you know, played around with it. I laid it here and then I folded the piece of paper together, and then 17 inches worked really well. But yeah, like I said, I did use her template as a guide, especially for the grommet placements. So yeah, I copied the whole spine area, but for the part where you insert the cord loop, I decided to create another hole. So with that one, I actually had to measure that just so that it's like centered. So for her, she only has one hole. I think the original Louise Carmen notebooks have the two holes. So I like this better. So yeah, I cut this up. I just used my scissors, and then I took my leather punch tool to punch the holes in the template. And yeah, I mean, with the paper, it was really easy to do. But thankfully, I did have some scrap leather from the one I bought. I did buy a 12 by 24 panel, which is the biggest one they had available on the website. And the website that I got the leather from, it's Rocky Mountain Leather Supply. And so with the scrap of leather, I took a little piece to practice on with the hole punching and the grommets, because I didn't want to just go straight into it and then like mess it up. So I ended up getting their Butero vegetable tan leather. But yeah, they have natural, whiskey, whiskey looks nice, chestnut, mahogany, walnut, chocolate, the black, which is the one that I chose, taupe, red, orange, yellow, green, olive, blue. Ooh, that's a nice blue. Ooh, the violet's pretty too. Oh, Bordeaux is really nice too. Yeah, I normally don't like red, but when it comes to like nail polishes, lipsticks, or even just like leather goods, red looks amazing. So that might be one of my choices in the future. And then the last one is white. So I got the 12 by 24, which is 2 square feet. And then I chose, which one did I choose? I think it was the 3-ounce one. So the no splitting, 1.2 millimeter, 3 ounce. If I'm incorrect, I'll correct myself down below. I think it was on Reddit where someone said that this particular one, the Butero one from Rocky Mountain Leather Supply, was very close to the Louise Carmen notebook. And this is exactly what I imagine it to feel like. If you did see that previous Midnight Musings video where I talk about the Louise Carmen notebooks, I did mention I wanted to get a green one. I wanted to get their Primavera color because the patina was going to be like more of like an avocado or like sage green color. And that's what I wanted to get. But over time, I was like, you know what? I would love to have a black leather notebook just for my everyday notebooks. I love simplicity, something that matches with everything. And I just really wanted like a black cat energy vibe to my notebook. I wanted to use this charm for this notebook and it just fits perfectly. So I went with a black on black and silver for the grommets and charms. Overall, it was pretty damn easy, but I did have a few frustrations along the way. So the template wasn't that bad. I just had to make adjustments and it was really easy. I will just leave the measurements down below. It's just 17 by 8.5 inches. And then you can, if you want, you can try to find the old Pink House template for the A5 size. And then you can do what I did. I just printed out her template. I traced the spine area with the grommet placements, and that was that. And I just like measured the 2 hole punches right here so that it's centered, and that's basically it. So the template wasn't that bad for me. It took a while to create, but it wasn't frustrating for me. So a couple of frustrations I will say is, first, cutting the leather. I've never cut leather before up until now. Like, I bought a rotary cutter, which is pretty sharp, and it did cut very easily. It's just my cutting skills isn't the best. For the most part, it cut pretty straight, but like here on the top, it's a little crooked, and I'm too lazy to fix that. So, I mean, if you really look at it, you can see that it's like not even, but if you're like far away, you won't notice a thing. It doesn't bother me, honestly. It's just like, you know, it's my first DIY notebook, so of course there's gonna be imperfections, and I think the imperfections makes it special. And you know, I'll improve as time goes by, because I would love to make more of these for myself and for like the people that I love if they want one. But yeah, I need to practice more with the rotary cutter for sure. I think because at some points I wasn't holding it straight. I think I may have held it at an angle at one point. And so I tried to fix it with my scissors, but it kind of made it worse, and it's okay. I'm not mad about it. But yeah, that's one thing that I was just kind of like, ugh, whatever. I had a feeling it wasn't gonna be straight. Aside from that, another frustration of mine were the grommets. The grommets was probably the hardest part for me. Thankfully, I did have a scrap of leather to practice on, because when I first, you know, played around with the grommets, it got messed up. I think I threw it away. I messed up maybe 2 or 3 times, and then I finally got it. I think because I was holding the tool the wrong way, or I was using a different tool. So I had to like watch TikTok videos to see if I was doing it right. And so yeah, after a few tries, I got it. But I still feel like I wasn't hammering it well enough, because it doesn't feel secure. But I think now that I have the cords in and all my notebooks in here, it doesn't matter because it's not gonna come out. But without everything, it was a bit loose. And it's okay. Yeah, with all the imperfections, I feel like it just gives it more character. You know, this is cut by me, myself, and I. So I didn't buy any of those leather stamps. I thought about it, but maybe in the future. It's not a necessity for me right now. Yeah, I do really love the simplicity of it. I don't need to add like my initials or anything like that. It's perfect as it is. All right, so now that we got that down, should we start with the setup or the cost of everything? I think we should talk about where I bought everything, the cost and value of it all, and then I'll get into the setup. So, like I said, I bought the leather from Rocky Mountain Leather Supply. I'll leave the links down below for you if you're interested in making one yourself. Now for the black cord, I bought it from Etsy. It's the same seller I bought my light pink cord from that I use for my Paper Republic notebook. And the shop is called Accessory Place. I'll leave a link down below for you. And I got the 3 yards. They have a variety of colors if you're interested in getting it from there. And then everything else, like the grommets, the tools for the grommets, the leather punch tool, the rotary cutter, basically all of those tools are from Amazon. But the overall cost for everything, the leather, all the tools, and the cord was between $85 to $90. Now, that is not that bad because compared to the Louise Carmen and the Paper Republic, their notebooks, if you buy other things with it, it can be $100 plus. So yeah, I saved a lot of money. And I did hear that if you were to buy a Louise Carmen notebook, including shipping, which it can be like $40 plus, I think, you may be spending like $200 to $300. For me personally, I think this is worth it, making it myself, because the whole experience was so fun for me. It took me a few hours, I think, because having to measure everything and cutting everything and even the grommets, like it took some time. And now, so for the charms, these charms I actually already had. So like I mentioned, this cat charm, which used to be an earring. I forget the small business I got it from, but I got it from Sea Hive Station in Liberty Station in Point Loma, and it was a set of earrings. And I wore it for a while, but then I stopped wearing it, and I decided to create this as like a charm for my notebook. And the little charms here I got from my niece. She has a bunch of like silver charms, and so I'll do a little close up, but I have a moon and a heart charm because I do connect with Hecate and Aphrodite. And then I have a charm here that says made with love because this was made with love. And then a small star charm. So yeah, that's basically the vibe, and I'm loving it so much. All right, now let's get into the setup. I'm really excited to share this with you all. So the first thing you see is this PVC zipper pouch. This is actually from my Midori Traveler's Notebook. I decided to move it here because I wanted to insert, you know, photo booth pictures, stickers, receipts and all that, things from my travels. The first insert notebook, I put my 888 journal. If you're interested in learning more about this, I did talk in depth about this particular journal in my journaling ecosystem for 2025. I'll leave it in the cards for you. But this is basically my journal for abundance, healing my money mindset, all things surrounding finances. And it's been like one of my favorite journals this year. So that's the first one. Now, this second one, you're gonna laugh at me because in my previous video in the journaling ecosystem, I did have a big notebook for my language learning, which is this one. Now, the reason why I decided to buy a different notebook is because I don't use that size often. And I try to use it to learn Korean, but because it's such a huge notebook, I don't bring it with me everywhere. It's not something that I can just easily put in my purse. So, like I said earlier, I do prefer A5 sized notebooks. And so I decided, you know, to hell with it. Let me just buy that new notebook specifically for learning Korean. And so I got one. I haven't started it because I've been so busy, but the fact that it's in here, I know I will make time for it. So in the front, I put Hangul Note. So yeah, I have a completely new notebook for my language learning. And I specifically got the dotted notebook because I think it'll be good for when I'm like, you know, writing the characters and whatnot. So that is the second insert notebook. And then the third one is my sticker booklet. Now, I bought this one from my Midori Traveler's Notebook, but because I haven't been using that one, it's been like out of sight, out of mind. And so I totally forgot I had the sticker booklet. And so I was like, I can finally move it into this one. So now I have it with me wherever I go. And so I have all my cute stickers. amazing. So yeah. And then my last one, which I'm really excited about, I actually started it last weekend when I made the notebook. I made this last week, by the way. This is my personal curriculum notebook. Now, if you're on TikTok like I am, there was this trend going on, and I hope that even if it stops being a trend, I'm still going to continue doing this just because it's such a fun thing to do as an adult who is no longer in school. But basically, what a lot of adults are doing, we are finding different subjects, things that we're interested in, and we are just learning about them. And so, as a Sagittarius moon, I love to learn. I love gaining new knowledge. And so, I wanted to have a specific notebook for everything that I learn, and it's just been so fun. So, the first thing on my curriculum is based on the book that I'm reading right now. And I haven't written any notes because, like I said, I've been so busy lately, but I've been taking my time with reading the book. So it's the book, The Hidden Messages in Water by Masaru Emoto. And it's so fascinating. Like, water is so powerful, and the fact that we are made up of 60 to 70% water, the thoughts and the things that we listen to, the things that we speak to ourselves, it really impacts us. And so he did a lot of research with water, and that basically when he would speak or had other people speak kind things to the water, like love and gratitude, like thank you, I love you, the water would create beautiful, gorgeous crystals. But when you would speak negative words to it, like I hate you, you're ugly, it would create really messy and jagged crystals. So that goes to show you that words are powerful. And even when it comes to music, like he even mentioned that when you play classical music to the water, it also creates beautiful crystals, because classical music is very much the same frequency as love and gratitude. And then on the other side of the spectrum, if you play like heavy metal or negative music to the water, it creates that jagged, messy, weird looking crystals. And so this is what they say, like, speak positive things to yourself, to others. Listen to music that is positive and full of love and gratitude, because it really affects your overall well-being, like your internal and your outer world. And so it's just so fascinating to me, and I'm just loving this whole like personal curriculum, because it's really just it just makes me so happy. Like, I love learning. But another thing that I'm also adding to my curriculum is nervous system healing. And I haven't started the book yet, but I've had this book on my TBR list for years. And it's the book, The Body Keeps the Score. I'm going to take my time with this. The thing about this whole personal curriculum is that nothing's graded, nothing has a deadline. You can work at your own pace. And so with my busy schedule now, it's like I can do this whenever I have the free time. And it's just so fun to learn. It's so fun reading these new books and just having all this like new wealth of knowledge. Like, I love it. I love it so much. So yeah, that's what this personal curriculum notebook is all about. And of course, I had to do some scrapbooking to make it cute. I mean, with my Libra 6th house, everything in my day-to-day life is very aesthetically pleasing. So I had to do that with my notebook spreads. So yeah, that's basically what my new journaling ecosystem looks like, with this beautiful new leather notebook. And I'm so proud of this. All right, so now that I've created my very first A5 trifold leather notebook journal, would I still buy the Louise Carmen notebooks? Short answer is yes. I still want one. But the only thing is that if I were to buy one in the future, I would want to buy it in person, because I have been seeing a lot of people, not everyone has this problem, but there have been people who have been having problems with their customer service. And there would be people who receive their notebooks in the mail that would have some imperfections. And I get it, like, you're paying over $200 for this leather notebook. And to have like little imperfections here and there, it's like, okay, like, is this even worth it? Now, like I said, I still want one. It's not a priority for me now that I have one for myself. Like, I have my very own trifold leather notebook, but I still would love to have one. I still want to experience making one in person. I would love to experience at least once in my life. Yeah, I think for me, it's important to be there in person, to inspect the leather and being able to swap it if needed. You know, like, I don't want to like gamble and just hope for the best if I were to like order online, because, you know, it's such a hassle having to like, you know, if you receive a leather notebook that isn't of good quality and you have to send it, it's like on the other side of the world. Like, I don't want to deal with that. Like, I'd rather, you know, plan a trip to go there and, you know, experience it for myself, inspect the leather, and be done with it. Like, I know it's not easily accessible for everyone to fly to Paris. If you got money, yeah, of course you can go whenever you want, but not everyone can or wants to fly to Paris. But I would love to go back. The last time I went was in 2012, and it was only for a day. So I would love to go back to experience it differently and to go to the Louise Carmen storefront. So yeah, I mean, I don't plan to go out anytime soon, but, you know, in the near future, hopefully, that would be a fun little experience. But like I said, it's not a priority for me anymore. I know that when I was first interested in Louise Carmen, I was obsessed with it. I was coveting it like crazy. I was constantly talking about it, like, especially talking my niece's ear off about it. Like, oh my God, I just watched this new video on TikTok about the Louise Carmen notebooks. But now it's like, I'm kind of neutral about it. Like, yeah, I still love it, but it's not like, do I need it right now? No, I have my own that was less than $200 and it's really good quality and I love it. I love this thing like crazy. I'm not much of a name brand person, but for me, it's just more of the experience of creating the Louise Carmen notebooks is what draws me in. You know, I love just the idea of picking all the little things to create the notebook. That was my whole experience in creating this DIY Louise Carmen-inspired notebook, and I'm so proud of it. I can't wait to make more. I would love to make another A5 one and hopefully make one with pockets inside so I can, you know, insert, you know, ephemera, cute things, found objects that I find on my travels. But yeah, this was such a fun experience. And if you have been thinking of creating your own Louise Carmen-inspired notebook, I hope that this video helped you decide. It really is easy. And don't worry about it being super perfect. You know, make it your own. Be creative with it. You don't have to make it an exact replica of the Louise Carmen notebook. There's so many fascinating and beautiful notebooks that I've seen on TikTok, and there's so many talented people out there. So yeah, make it your own. Add little things here and there. Be unique, be authentically you, and yeah, have fun with it. Like I said, I made this a week ago and there's already some scratches on here, which I'm loving. Still very soft, and I can't wait to see how it patinas over time. And yeah, you'll be seeing this one along with my Paper Republic notebook. These two notebooks have been such a joy in my life, and I can't wait to make more because the more the merrier. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, give this video a thumbs up. And if you've made your own Louise Carmen notebook, let me know. I would love to watch your videos. I would love to see how you created yours. So that is it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you love my Midnight Musings series, subscribe down below if you haven't yet. I basically make videos whenever I feel like it. I focus more on, honestly, I haven't been making art in a while, and that's okay, but I do focus on art journaling of all kinds, creativity, self-discovery, mindfulness, stuff like that, and just cute things. I love cute things. But anyway, have a great day, and I will see you all in the next one.